Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever video on my new YouTube channel, Guy Goes Cambodia. That's right, my name is Guy, or Guy actually, and I am going to Cambodia in just a few days from now. And I'm going to vlog about um, my life in Cambodia from this channel. And in this very first video, I'm going to tell you something about my background, why I am going to Cambodia, why I am moving to a foreign country halfway around the world anyway, and I'm going to tell you something about what my plans are, what my future plans are for this YouTube channel. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching and let's get to the video. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to my very first video on YouTube, on this channel. So believe it or not, this is actually the third attempt that I do to make this video, because I did two more videos before this, but while transferring the video from my phone to my external drive, the file got corrupted. So and I don't know how to prevent that. So but now I found a way to just transfer my files, my videos safely to my computer directly, and I think this time it's gonna be fine. So third time's the charm. Okay, so in this video I'm going to tell you a little bit about what my plan is, um, a little bit about my background, um, why Cambodia, and what my plans are for this channel. So let's start with what my plan is. Okay, so basically now in only 3 days, or in less than 3 days from now, I will fly to Cambodia. Um, um, I've already packed most of my stuff and stored many of my things in an external storage, and the rest I will either bring with me or throw away. Um, yeah, I will fly to Cambodia. I have an E-type visa, which I hope to be able to extend for many months from Cambodia without leaving the country. But I will have to see how I'm going to do that when I'm in Cambodia. And yeah, so far I've booked an Airbnb, which is basically a room with a bathroom inside of somebody else's apartment, an expat actually, and that's where I'm going to stay for the first month. And from there, I'm going to first see the country for maybe about 2 weeks, make some trips from Phnom Penh, which is where I will be staying, to other places like maybe Siem Reap, Sihanoukville. Maybe I would like to visit the Tonle Sap Lake. Um, I will have to see, because I think it's rainy season. It's now by the end of June, so I guess it's rainy season there. But we'll see what I can do. Yeah, and from that Airbnb, I'm planning to search for a small apartment for myself, which I can rent for more than just a short period. Yeah, and okay. So how am I going to sustain myself? What am I going to do there? Well, over the last about 1.5 years or so, um, I have been a Dutch tutor online and a freelance um, text writer and copywriter. And yeah, um, that's actually fully online, except for one small gig that I cannot do anymore. But most of my income I actually get from online tutoring, and I hope to be able to continue to do that while I'm in Cambodia, so that I have something to do during the week, during normal weekdays, and I have an income to live off. Um, if I can at least keep some of that income, because I'm probably going to lose a few students over the time zone. If I can keep most of that income or even grow it after some time, I can definitely live off that income in Cambodia. Um, Plus, maybe I can search other gigs, other writing gigs online, or find other creative ways to make a little bit of extra money. Who knows? Um, yeah, so that's my plan. But maybe, who knows? Maybe I will become like a part-time YouTuber, what I'm basically doing now, or maybe I will start some kind of business in Cambodia, some business that I feel comfortable in and that I have a passion for. And but I'll have to see about that, of course. I first have to get to know. I have to get used to the climate. I have to get to know the people, how things work in Cambodia, and if I actually like it there. So that's the plan, which brings me to my next topic, which is my background. Um, okay, so I was born and raised in the Netherlands. I'm 30 years old, by the way, and currently living in the city of Delft, which is a city near Rotterdam and The Hague in the Netherlands. Um, so when I was about 20 years old, I think, I started, no, not 20. When I was about 18, maybe, I started to study water management, bachelor's degree in water management, and or bachelor's course in water management, I should say. And yeah, I followed that course, but in the third year, I actually had to do an internship, and that internship was in the Philippines. So I did that. I actually did half a year an internship in the Philippines, and yeah, you can say that I really liked it there. I was amazed by the liveliness of that society, the opportunities, and just the energy that that country had compared to the country where I am from, which, with all respect, is a good country to live in, but Netherlands really does have an aging population and uh, a rather rainy climate, you can say. Yeah, cold and rainy climate. But yeah, the Philippines, none of that, of course. Very warm. A lot of the life in the Philippines takes place outside of the house rather than inside. Um, yeah, I really liked it in the Philippines, and actually had a girlfriend there, and I've been back to the Philippines two more times. Um, and one time for vacation, and the next time in which was a couple years later for my graduation research, another 5 months. So in total, I've been about a year in the Philippines, and you know, in the Philippines, it really opened up my mind for other possibilities in life, other cultures, and since then I've always had the vague idea that I wanted to go back to that part of the world, Southeast Asia, not necessarily the Philippines or the places where I've been then, but more like Southeast Asia. Um, and yeah, so my interest was already sparked for this part of the world, for Southeast Asia, a long time ago, many years ago. Um, yeah, um, and well, but okay, but the Philippines is not Cambodia, of course. So why Cambodia? Well, I didn't necessarily want to go to the Philippines again. I had um, the idea that other countries were also options. And well, I am an online language tutor, Dutch tutor actually. Um, however, um, I need a good internet connection for that. And I knew from my time in the Philippines that the internet is can be very problematic in the Philippines, especially in the country, yeah, in the islands other than Luzon. And even in Luzon, in Manila, internet can sometimes be bad because the Philippines is an archipelago, and it's very difficult to organize good internet in such countries. Um, but apart from that, I also did some research to like um, the costs and the difficulty of getting a visa in many countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, uh, Thailand was on my list, Cambodia, Laos, in maybe Malaysia. I've checked, um, and I also did some research on the cost of living in all those countries. Maybe a little bit about the culture, um, whether I would like the culture or not. That's of that specific country. And out of that research, basically came Cambodia for me as the most viable option, at least for now. So I decided that it has to be Cambodia. Um, yeah, it has to be Cambodia. And you know, a little bit about why am I actually moving halfway across the world anyway, right? Because why not stay in the Netherlands? You might ask. Well, yeah. Look, I have an online job, which uh, which I can live off now, somewhat in the Netherlands, um, but not that well actually, because yeah, it's of course a limited job. It's an online job and it pays some money, but it's very difficult to live off that money, let alone to support a family or something with this money in the Netherlands. So that's one of the first options, which is, or let's say buy a house or something. It's not possible. This is a rental place, and yeah, I could never really afford to buy a house. I think in the Netherlands with these prices. Um, so that is one reason. Another reason is I'm feeling a little bit, even though I'm doing pretty well, I'm also at the same time feeling a little bit stuck because I feel like I cannot really progress that much anymore in the Netherlands. Or, um, yeah, um, yeah, career wise, or like growing as a person, I feel a little bit at, yeah, like I had a plateau at this moment. Maybe since the beginning of this year, my tutoring business really took off, but at the same time, it also kind of like that's it. Like it's not gonna be that much more than this probably, and that's yeah. I think it's good for a human to always have some possibility to progress further. And once you don't feel that anymore, you probably need to change something. And I feel like I need to change something now. I'm 30 years old. I feel like I'm ready, stable enough. I have an income that I can bring with me to another country because it's online. And I've had this dream to go to Southeast Asia for a long time already and live there, not just for a vacation, but to actually live there. Um, and Yeah, I like warm weather. I really don't like cold weather. I'm not very thick, quite skinny. I can handle warm weather quite well, but cold weather not so much. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm moving anyway, um, and why I'm moving to Cambodia. So let me see, what was I going to talk about? So a little bit about my background, why Cambodia, um, why I am moving anyway. Um, yeah, maybe I should also say that um, I think that even though I'm 30 years old, the dating market for the dating market in the Netherlands isn't really that great. Um, I think there's some kind of disconnect, some sort of like distance between men and women in the Netherlands, but in many Western countries, I guess. It's very, very strange dynamic. It seems to be even worse than maybe 10 years ago when I was like first on some dating app or something. Like it seems to be even worse now than just 10 years ago. Like really toxic and just like, yeah, it kind of like it feels like a dead end to me. And so apart from that, the dating market also um, sort of like a general direction in which the Western world, and with the West I mean like the European countries and North America, is going into. Like it's going very. It's like we're progressing so far into our current direction that it is kind of starting to undermine our very um, means to existence. Our quest for like individual freedom and liberty in the Western world is kind of starting to uh, take its toll on us. Well, for quite a while already, but it's becoming very painful now, um, since certain things happened um, since 2020 and since 2022 and since the last year. And yeah, I think ultimately everything is going to be all right, but before that, things are not going to be all right. And they're going to be probably less all right than they currently are now in the Netherlands and in many other Western countries too. Um, and I don't really have a preference for any uh, side of the political spectrum. I think they both are to blame, left and right. Um, yeah, liberals, progressives, but also conservatives to some degree. There are very few people who I think um, they they contribute something positive to the public debate at this moment. Very few people. Almost everybody is. If they got to say what had to be done, things would be very terrible, to say the least. So yeah, I don't really see things going very well maybe it's a bit pessimistic. I think it's just realistic. Um, Kind of a quote comes to mind that I heard recently about realism and pessimism, but I can't really remember it correctly. So anyway, everything's gonna be all right. I think humans. I think we're just at the beginning, basically, of our time on this planet. I think humans are going to be around for thousands and thousands of more years, tens of thousands more years, probably. I don't think this is the end at all. I think it's just the beginning. But there are going to be tough times, and I think we're going towards such a tough time. But I have good hopes for Southeast Asia for some reason, and that has something to do with the attitude that people have there, their philosophy, their values that they hold high. I think in Southeast Asia, from what I have seen, I think they haven't really forgotten yet where they come from and what values are basically more important in life than others. I think in the West we have started to um, develop certain values which definitely have their place in a um, more wealthy society. But those values, they could never become like, instead of the more like, mm, basic values that, like, I don't yeah, like very very basic values of, like, maybe, well, I I don't want to become religious or anything. I am not, actually, but I am philosophical, and I think there are certain values that you cannot neglect and that are being systematically neglected in our current time in the Western world. And they're kind of like traditional values. I guess I'm a little bit conservative to that effect. Um, and Yeah, as long as those values aren't being regarded as important, or aren't regarded as more important than other values that we have developed, like individual freedom to a very far degree, which is, I think, it's not a core value. It's like something that comes from a very wealthy society in which you have that luxury to offer people individual freedom. But I think if you give people too much individual freedom, it will undermine their very basis for existence, because who is going to sacrifice themselves then if some other country or countries attack you? Uh, or who is still going to make the babies for the next generation? Who is going to do the work? Who is going to take care of the elderly? Without those more traditional values, those things become very big problems. And I don't think, I don't really think there are any solutions other than bringing those values back. But I think some pretty bad stuff needs to happen in the Western world um, before people realize that those values are the most important and cannot be neglected. Uh, and I don't necessarily want to be around when the consequences of our neglect um, come to full fruition. Basically, I don't want. I don't know. I don't know the future, and things happen. Shit happens. But yeah, I feel like maybe I deserve to have a few years of um, yeah, another type of life in a completely different country where I really don't know the culture and the people, and I have a lot to learn and a lot it's a little bit selfish what I'm going to do, to my family and my friends, but it's also, um, maybe I deserve it at this moment in my life. Maybe I do. Um, so yeah, um, that's also why I'm moving to Cambodia, because of basically my view on the world, and my feeling about where things are going to in the Western world. Um, yeah, and so now, if you're still there, um, the last thing that I want to talk about is this channel. So what do I want to do with this YouTube channel? Mm, so I want to make videos regularly, um, on a regular basis. I mean, um, about my life in Cambodia or another Southeast Asian country if I, for some reason, have to go there. Maybe for a vacation, or maybe I can't stay in Cambodia. I don't know. I try to be as flexible as possible in my mind so that I won't be disappointed. Um, yeah, so I'm going to basically vlog about my life in Southeast Asia, in Cambodia. It's going to be videos like this in which I'm going to talk to the camera, but I might also want to interview people, or show you interesting things to visit for tourists, or for expats in Cambodia. Maybe I will talk. Maybe I will try to talk a little bit with Cambodian people too, and with expats. Um, I've been learning a little bit of Khmer over the last couple months, because I want to be able to speak the language a little bit. I've been learning it online as well with a tutor, so I'm also taking classes myself, and it's been fun and interesting. But yeah, so yeah, you can expect me to vlog about my life. Sometimes I'm going to talk about maybe very practical topics, but I think I want to talk more about a little bit deeper things, a little bit more philosophical things. Maybe talk about culture in Cambodia, um, the way Cambodians think, what their norms are, what their values are. That's what fascinates me. Um, Maybe a little bit about the economy as well. Maybe some practical things that I encounter in Cambodia. Um, Sometimes I might be walking around um, with my camera on the street or at some place. So yeah, that's my plan for this channel, and I hope you will join me. Of course, I really hope you will join me in my journey, and you can do that, of course, by subscribing to this channel, uh, which is probably going to be named Guy Goes Cambodia, for now at least, and hitting the like button so that other people will also be shown this video. And I think that's about everything that I have to say for now. I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about myself, and I hope you will watch my future videos too. I wish you a very pleasant day, and hopefully until next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Lihai.